Glad to see everybody. Is there anything anybody had problems on during the week? Okay, nobody?
Pick something, Mr. King.
Doesn't matter what it is. Whatever you've been working on, have you had any problems? Okay. Anything, anybody? Because I got a whole bunch of stuff. All right, so let's go with let me see. All right, there we go. Okay, let me get one here. Let's try number 6. So I saw about 4 people on their practice test get questions like this incorrect. So on the GED, what they're going to do is they're going to give you an equation of a line, and they're going to ask you, and in the multiple choice, they're going to give you 4 graphs, and they're going to ask you which one is that equation of a line. So what I want to do now is I'm going to use these graphs, and let's see if do we know how to find the equation of the line. And then I'm going to show you a word problem, just very similar, to see if we also can find the equation of the line. So what I want to ask you, first of all, I want to see what you know. So we're looking at number 6. The first thing I want to ask is what? If I'm trying to find the equation in this line, what's the first thing I'm going to ask myself when I'm looking at this graph?
What's the equation of the line?
Right, that's what we wanted to find out. We want to find the equation line. What's the first thing we're going to ask ourselves?
What's the slope of the form?
What is the slope, and what else? What
Is it
2
negative
things
or positive?
Negative.
Okay, so is it positive or negative? So that's the first thing we should ask. So is this slope of this line positive or negative?
Negative.
Okay, so we already negative. So we know it's a negative slope. So that means any of our multiple choice that are positive, we can get rid of. But the slope is positive, we can get rid of. Okay, what's the second thing?
The line where it intersects.
Intersects what? What is that called? The what?
-3.
Well, what is that called?
The slope. No, the
Not
B. Sorry, B.
B. What is B known as?
Y-intercept.
The y-intercept. The y-intercept. So we know that the y-intercept is -3 because that's where it crosses the y-axis. So very good. So we identified that it's negative. We identified that it crosses the y-axis at -3, which is also known as the y-intercept. Now, how do we find the slope of this line? How many points do we need? How many points do we need to identify a slope of a line?
2 points.
We need 2 points. So how many points is identifiable on this graph right now? See? How many points is identified on this line right now?
4.
4? How you get 4?
3 points, -5 and -3.
-5 and -3? Nope. So what happens is, remember, a line has infinite amount of points. The only point that we see on this graph right now is right there.
-3. -3.
So that point is not -3. That point is not -3. It's -3 on the y-axis or 0, -3. That would be the ordered pair. Does everybody understand that? That point is not -3. It is either 0, -3, or -3 on the y-axis. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
So now we need the second point. How can we get a second point? So that's what I wanted you to answer, that to find a slope of a line, you need at least 2 points.
You have to do
Now,
rise.
a line has an infinite amount of points, but right now on this line, they only identified 1 point. So we have to identify a second point. How do we do that?
Rise over run.
No, not that's how to find a slope. In order to find a slope, we need 2 points. First, we gotta identify the second point. What's one of the second point that we should use?
It's on 0. How can you know it's a point?
2.
So first of all, no point is 2. Remember, every point is an ordered pair.
It's on 0 though.
-2.
Nope. I don't like this graph at all, but I don't like this one at all. So
I don't
when we
see
go
another
down this
point
line,
unless it's 0.
so when we go down this line, we want to select a point that is on a whole number. I don't really like this graph here because it's
That
not
that
really
2
on.
is
It's a
not
little
really
off.
on the 2. It's off a little bit.
Right. It's a little off. So let me stop this one because we're not going to use this one. We need to find one where it's right on the point. None of these. Oh, there we go. We got one right here.
There
So
go
let's
one
start
right
over.
there.
Let's start over. So is this slope positive or negative?
It's negative. It's going down.
So this line is going down from
Well,
left to right.
It look like it.
I can't see it.
It's positive.
So why? So it's some confusion going on here because some people said positive, some people said negative, some people said it looked like it's going down. Yeah, from your perspective, if you look at it from the top, it does look like it's going down, right? But
Right.
remember what I said, from left to right. So we're going to use the leftmost point, which is here. So if I go,
Okay.
which direction am I going?
Up to the positive.
So from
Up.
left to right is what we need to do. So it's positive. Does
Yes.
everybody understand that? From left to right, what direction is it going? It's going up. So the slope of this line is positive. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Second part, what is the y-intercept?
3, positive 3. I
No,
see it on the 3. It look like.
0, -5.
-5. So the y-intercept, or B, is -5. So what is the y-intercept? So intercept means to cross. So that's why it's called the y-intercept. Y and the y-intercept aren't the same thing. The y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So this is where the line crosses the y-axis. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have 1 point on this line. And as we go up this line, like for example, this is a point on this line. This is a point on this line. This is a point on this line. These are all points on this line. But how are we going to figure out what that is? Is that -3.5? Is it -3.52? We don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to select a point that corresponds to whole numbers on both the X and the Y axis. So we're going to move up this line until we find a point that the X and Y are whole numbers. So I'm going up this line. Please, somebody please tell me when to stop.
Oh my God, stop.
Start right there at 3.
Because now we can tell what our X is. Our X is 3. We can tell what our Y is. Our Y is 3. Does everybody understand that? So now we have our 2 points that we're going to use. How do we find the slope?
Rise over run.
Rise over run. So I got an email today. In that email, the person got the slope of all the lines correct. But she said, Mr. Tinsley, I did it differently. I didn't start at the leftmost point like you say in your videos. So what I want to show you is it doesn't matter what points you use. You can use any 2 points. Doesn't matter. So if I start with the leftmost point,
You closed out the thing.
rise is what direction? What direction?
You're going up,
Up. And if
up
rise
the
is
y
negative, I'm
axis,
going what?
down.
Down. So if I
Okay.
need to get to the other point, what direction am I going to go?
You're gonna go up.
Count with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.
8.
8 over
So my
3.
rise is what?
8 over 3. Oh, your rise is 8. I'm sorry.
we didn't do the run yet. So right.
8.
But you are right. It is 8 over 3, but we didn't do the run yet. So now that's how I get my rise. All you guys do is look at it. From what point do you want to use? So now what direction am I going to go?
To your right.
To the right. Count with me.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. So I know my run is 3 now. So now I know my rise is 8. My run is 3. What's my slope of this line?
8
8
over
over 3.
8 over 3 or 8/3. If
8
my
thirds.
y-intercept is -5, my slope is 8/3, what's going to be my equation of the line?
Y equal 8/3 x minus 5.
Perfect. Who said that?
You want me
Yeah.
to finish this first or
That's
what?
Perfect.
Sheila, Mr. Tinsley.
Y equal 8/3 x minus 5. That's how you find an equation of the line. Now, they're going to give you multiple choice. So the
Yeah.
first thing I want you to look at when they give you a graph is identify if it's positive or negative first. Why? Because that way you can get rid of 2 answers right away. The second thing I want you to identify is identify the y-intercept first, because you can easily look at a graph and tell what the y-intercept is. Then the third thing I want you to do is identify the slope. Usually, if you identify if it's positive or negative, and you identify the y-intercept, you're done. You're gonna be able to select the one that's the correct one. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so now, Mr. Tinsley,
Change my payment options.
so let's try one more before we go to a word problem.
That's fine.
So let's try one more before we go to a word problem. So let me find another. I'm gonna use this same sheet.
Just say, oh no, I'm sorry. I just had to do this.
So Kelly, I muted you because I could hear your conversation, so I didn't mute you. So when you want, if you want to have a question, just unmute yourself. So let's try this one. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I'm allow everyone to do this problem themselves. I want you to identify whether it's positive or negative. I want you to identify the y-intercept. I want you to tell me what the slope is, right? But the only thing you got to send me in the chat is the equation on the line. So in the chat, the only thing you're going to send me in the chat is y equal mx plus b, whatever that is. M is your slope. B is your y-intercept. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes, no, 3 minutes. Let me see. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes.
Mr. Tinley, what's in the other points? There's only
You
one.
have to find what point you're going to use. So if you notice, they only give you 1 point. So that's what I wanted to identify a second ago, is you need to identify the second point to find your slope.
Okay.
So I'm gonna set the timer for 2 minutes. Let me get my phone. And I want you to send me the equation of this line when you're finished in a graph. And then we're gonna try a word problem. And let's see if we can, let me set my timer for 2 minutes. Send me your answer in the chat in the form of y equal mx plus b. Mr. Tinsley, what did you do? Oh my God. That's right. Let's see what you know and what you don't know. Let's see. And then I'll find this other question I wanted. It's a very good question, a word problem. Because I had 3 people take this practice test today, and every person got this question wrong. One person was really, really close, but I want to make sure we understand it. I really shouldn't use one on my practice test, huh? Because then they'll give you the answer. But I'll use it anyway.
All right. I hope I ain't put it out. I don't know what I'm
So
doing.
you're very close. But remember, y equal mx plus b. And then you want to simplify all fractions to lowest terms. Like right now, that is wrong. But you are so close, it's not even funny. Like literally, you're all right there.
Oh Lord. Wait,
You
okay,
are
let me
right there. It's like when you see the answer, if you don't get it before we go over, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I knew that. I knew that.
It's okay, because I'm
Right.
teachable.
This is a learning experience. And
Absolutely.
so a lot of people are making that same mistake, I see. Remember, y equal mx plus b. Y equal mx plus b. Y equal, I need to see y equal. Everybody's making a very similar mistake. You want to reduce, so y equal mx plus b, and you want to make sure your fraction is in lowest terms. And make sure you send your answer
Yeah.
just to me. Don't send it to everybody.
Oh, how can I?
Okay.
Did I
That
say
was a
mine?
quick 2 minutes, wasn't it? I'm gonna give you one more minute. That was a quick 2 minutes.
Yep, you saying it's
Wait, I did it wrong. Come here.
Don't be asking for no help now. That's what you're doing. You asking for help.
Oh no, I'm asking him how to do the chat on my phone. No,
Oh,
my
okay. You can ask him that. Yeah, you can ask him that.
Where is it, Makai? I don't see it on here. Where the speech thing at? Because I don't see his face.
The speech bubble is right here.
Okay, don't act like you aggravated now.
I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna mute you. People are so close. So I'm glad I'm glad I'm going over this, because nobody has gotten this problem correct. It's aspects that people got correct, but no one has sent me the correct answer as of yet. And I still didn't find the problem I'm looking for, which is, let me find it first. Let me find the answer. Remember, send your answer just to me. Do not send it to everyone. Make sure in your chat, make sure you send who you're sending it to. Make sure you change it to me. Okay? My computer's acting extreme, is acting up. I gave one more minute, so the accompanying graph. So normally, remember I told you, I said you should try to finish you should be able to finish almost every problem in 3 minutes. So that's why I set the timer for 3 minutes. That's not to put pressure on you. That's just for you to understand you should be timing yourself. There we go. That's the one I want right there. That's the one. You should be able to finish each problem in 3 minutes. Why? Because I want you to get in the habit of, if you can't do it in 3 minutes, flag it for review and skip it and come back to it. Okay, this is a skill I'm trying to get you used to doing. So when you're taking a practice test, set that timer for each problem, 2 to 3 minutes at the most. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop that right now. Let's see. Somebody just sent me one. Oh, I think I just got the right answer, and I can't tell who it is.
It's Sheila.
Okay, iPhone. You almost correct. Nope, that is incorrect. You almost correct. Almost, 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 almost. Miss Rodriguez, you almost correct. Almost, 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 almost. Right there. All right, so let's do it. Let's do it. What is this? Is the slope of this line positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. So right away, if you had y equal 3x, y equal 2x, y equal 1/2 x, you're already wrong because we already know the slope is negative. What is the y-intercept?
-3.
3.
-3.
-3.
So now, what point should we use so we can find the slope? Tell me.
Is that one -1 and 1 -1? Right.
-1 and 1 is up here. Is up here.
Wait. Going to the left, right?
So which one do you want?
I can use -1. Going
Negative
down
one. -1 what?
-1 positive. No, -1 -1, right?
Okay, -1 is right here.
Or we
0.
look at
0. Very important. Remember, I told you if it's directly on the axis, it's a 0. So -1 and 0. X is first. So this point, everybody should be able to identify a point on the coordinate plane. It is a guaranteed problem on your exam. So this point here is -1, 0. This point is 0, -3. This is known as my y-intercept.
Okay, I have a question.
This is known as my x-intercept. Okay, remember the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. The x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. But now, I really didn't go into the x-intercept, did I? I didn't really call it that because to find the equation of a line, you need the y-intercept. It just for this problem. So remember, look, you need 2 points. You could also chose this point.
That was the point I chose.
Okay, that's the point you chose. Okay, good. All right, so either one of those points. So we know it's a negative slope. We know the y-intercept is -3. And now we want to find the slope. How do we find the slope between 2 points on the graph again?
Rise over run.
Rise over run. So this is where you made your mistake, Miss Tally. Watch this. You were actually correct, but you didn't reduce to lowest terms. I'm going to show you. So if we're going down, let me make this a little thicker so we can see the difference. Count with me.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. So you kept going.
No,
4,
no.
fine,
5,
4,
5, 6.
6. So is that +6 or -6?
Negative.
-6. Now what direction do we want to go?
To the right.
Count with
1,
me.
1, 2.
1, 2. So is that +2 or -2?
That's
Positive.
+2. Now, this is what you had. You left it with 6 over 2. We got to reduce to the lowest terms. What is
Right.
-6 over 2?
3.
Not 3.
3,
Negative.
1.
-3. So I also saw a lot of people put -3 over 1. That is not, remember, anything over 1 is a whole number. So to reduce it to lowest terms, your slope here is -3. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
So now, if I know my y-intercept is -3 and I know my slope is -3, what's going to be my equation to this line?
Y equal -3 x minus 3.
Perfect. So Sheila, where you made your mistake is you had
Yeah.
3x minus 3.
Right. Instead of
I was
-3.
close, yeah.
Okay. So and Sheila, what did you do? Sheila, you forgot. Sheila Rodriguez, you forgot y equal and you didn't reduce your slope to lowest terms.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I meant by everyone was so close. So when I send you this worksheet tonight, you want to make sure you can do all of them. So let's do one more. I know
Mr.
I
President, can
said
I
I was
ask
going.
you something?
Yes.
Well, how you get 1 though? I mean, how you get 3/1? I'm just divided by 2 and it give me 3, but I didn't know it had to be broken down to 1. I thought the 2 still
So-
exists.
Right. Okay. So if your greatest common factor is 2, right? How many times does 2 go into 6?
3.
How many times does 2 go into 2?
Oh, that's how you was doing. Okay, 1 time. Okay.
Right. So
my bad.
again, but -3/1 is -3. They're the same thing, but you won't see y equal -3/1x because it's a whole number. Anything over 1 is a whole number. Okay.
Mhm.
So in mathematical terms, those are the same answer. But on the test, you're not going to see -3/1x -3. It's going to be y equal -3x -3. Everybody understand that?
Mhm.
All right, let's try one more before we go to the word problem. Let's try one more right here. Let's do, that one was the funky one that didn't work out. Okay, here's one right here. Perfect. Love it. Love it. Okay, again, I'm gonna set the timer. Remember, when you send your answer, I want to see y equal mx plus b. So that's what I need to see when you send me your answer in the chat. This is the form I must see. Y equal. If it doesn't start with y equal, it's not slope intercept form. Okay, so I'm gonna set the timer again for 3 minutes. Starting now. When you find your answer, send me your answer in the chat.
Oh, I can't find my pencil.
Oh, I love it. 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 It's a wonderful one. 6. Yes.
If you really wanted to, can you look at this and just know the answer?
Oh, I can look at it and just know the answer.
Yeah.
So if you can just look at the answer, then maybe
I
you.
mean, sometimes you can. Yes, you can.
But this is what I would say.
Mhm.
Right now, walk through all the steps.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Because now if you know how to use the calculator, you don't even need to do all this. You just got to identify a second step. And if you have the ebook, all you need to do is be able to find a second point and you could plug it right into the calculator. But what I want to do is make sure you understand it conceptually and you know how to do it manually. So you have a conceptual understanding how to do it. So what I would say is identify if it's positive or negative, identify the y-intercept, identify the slope, rise over run, and then give your equation of the line. Why? Because if you know those steps, what you're doing is you're saying in your mind all the things you need for the equation of the line. So if any question asks you for the equation of the line, you know you need the slope and you need the y-intercept.
Right.
Got me?
Gotcha.
Okay. And make sure you talk to me at the class. I need you to take probably one more practice test, schedule your one-on-one. I think you're ready.
For me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yes. I went online. I did. And and 2 of them with the 3/4, I mix them up because I remember I had did it before, and that's why I got 2 of them wrong, and I should have got them right. Right.
So again, so let me explain what she just said. She took a practice test. She did the practice test. She went back and she did it again, going over the ones that she missed. But what she did was, instead of doing the problem, she remembered the answers. When you're taking these practice tests that I have for you, you can take them up to 5 times. My suggestion to you, even if you remember the answer, do them step by step so you know how to do it. That's why most people fail the real test, because they take these practice tests so much, they know their answers, and then when they get a passing score on the GED ready, they think they're ready to go. Because now on the test, they're going to change it up. They're going to give you a whole paragraph of some tables, and now you don't know what to do. So make sure you do each problem out.
I did that too.
I know. I already know. I know what people do.
But
Okay,
I did that too, but they was just so easy. There was like 3, 4, but one I forgot to flip and the other one, right. You know what I did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that was 3 minutes. Did anybody send me an answer yet? Let me check.
I did.
I see the
Let me
dot.
see. I didn't even do the answer yet. Ooh, that's Sheila. Oh my goodness, you are so close. Is the
Okay.
slope of this line positive or negative?
Oh, it's negative.
Okay, so now change your answer.
Okay.
America. America, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
How you doing this evening?
I'm good. This is my first time joining.
I'm so glad. It's funny that you said it because when I used to manage artists, right? The
Mhm.
first sponsorship I got for one of my artists was America Vodka.
Really?
Eh,
That's really cool.
Yep. That was my first sponsorship for one of my artists. Yep.
That's
Yep.
Is that
awesome.
right?
Sheila, you are now correct. So don't worry, America. That's why we're here. So this is
Great,
a
thank you.
space where if you
I
get
ain't gonna
something
lie.
wrong, we don't worry about it. What we want to do
This
is
is
make
the type
sure
of
you know how
math
to
that
do
I
it.
have the most trouble with, the inequalities and the functions and the graphs. This is
Okay,
where I
well,
struggle.
slopes are 7 to 10 problems. Functions are 2 to 3 problems, and inequalities are 2 to 3 problems. So so if you master slope, functions, and inequalities, that's almost a third of about a fourth of your exam. A little
All
bit
right.
more than a fourth, about a third. So did you buy the ebook or you just got this link from one of the groups?
Yeah, I got it from the group.
Okay, so check out my website. I have an ebook that
Okay.
shows you how to do all of these using the calculator also. So even though I go over it manually and how to do it, I also want you to understand that these problems can be done in seconds with the calculator. Like even though we take in minutes, 2 and 3 minutes, if you know how to do it with the calculator, you can be done in 1 minute. So Miss Tally, you are so close, it's not funny. Y equal mx plus b. What did you forget? So did the timer go off yet? I wasn't sure I was talking. Did the timer
No.
go off?
No.
It did?
It didn't.
Y equal
It didn't?
mx equals
No.
Okay.
plus b.
So I gave 3 minutes. It is 50 seconds left.
Y
Mr.
equal
Yeah,
Clarence, I need to talk to you, Mr. Tinsley.
no problem. So Sheila, you were correct. So right now, that's Miss Rodriguez also. Sheila, that's the second Sheila. You are correct. Good, 2 for 2. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And Miss Tally, you are so close. It's not
Mr.
even funny.
Tennessee,
Yes.
did I did my rise wrong?
Did you send it to me in the chat yet? I don't see it.
Yes, I did. I've been sent it to you. Oh my God, I gotta do it.
No, I don't see it. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, I see it. No, that is incorrect. Your y-intercept is correct, but your slope is incorrect. All right, we got about 10 seconds left.
I think
Oh, no, actually 5 seconds left. Let's go over.
I still don't understand this thing.
So, and you said, I still don't understand this. So this is what I want you to do. I'm gonna model each problem. So again, I send the recording out after we're done. So what you might want to do is say, you know what? Let me work through this one problem. Because with a video, you can keep rewinding as many times as you need. So I'll walk through the steps. So first of all, is this slope positive or negative?
negative.
Negative. How do you know? Because left to right, what direction is it going?
Downward.
Down. So that's how you tell whether the slope is positive or negative. From left to right, this slope is negative. Does everybody understand that? Where does this line cross the y-axis?
At 3.
One.
At -1. Remember, this is my
Oh, damn.
y-axis.
Yeah, -1.
Where does it cross the y-axis? -1. So my y-intercept is -1. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing you should be getting familiar with is the slope positive or negative. What's the y-intercept? Now, how many points do we need to find the slope?
2.
2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up this line until I find a point that's on a whole number for both X and Y. Can somebody please tell me when to stop?
Stop.
Stop right there.
Right there. Perfect. Now, once you identify those 2 points, what are we going to use to find the slope?
Rise over
Rise
run.
and run.
Overrun.
Rise over run. So remember, the words are telling you what direction. Rise is up and down, because if you rise, you're going up. If rise is negative, you're going down. Run is horizontal. You run across the
This is
street,
wrong.
right? So rise is up or down or vertical. Run is horizontal. So I'm going to start at the leftmost point, right? Let's start the leftmost point. What direction should I go?
Down.
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 Count with me.
1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4.
How did I know to stop right there? Why did I not keep going?
So the dot right to the right.
Because my second point, I'm trying to get to my second point. So we went down 1, 2, 3. Because we went down 3, is my rise 3 or negative 3?
Negative 3.
Negative 3.
Negative 3. Now, what direction do we want to go?
Right.
To the right.
Oh,
I thought it's
no,
4.
hold on. I thought it's 4.
One.
Yeah, it's not. It's 4. I'm sorry. 4.
I thought it was 4.
We went down 4. Now, what direction are we going now?
Right.
To your
Right.
right.
Count with me.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Our run is what?
3.
3.
3. So our slope is what?
Negative 4 over 3.
Negative 4 over 3. What's our y-intercept?
Negative
Negative 1.
So now we know our slope. We know our y-intercept. What's our equation of the line?
It's y equals negative 4 over 3x minus 1.
Stop playing. Who was that? You see how confident she said that? So this is what happens when you practice enough and you have a conceptual understanding of the problem. So y equal minus 4/3 x minus 1. Now I'm going to put this word problem on the screen. And so this is really going to say, some people hate word problems, and right when they see a word problem, they just get shook. Let me see if I can find the problem. I kind of got the answer in there already, but let me see this. So what we'll do is I'm gonna have to read the question because I don't want you to see the answers. Hold on. Somebody said, But remember, it's the same thing that we just did. So first of all, is this slope positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive.
Positive. What's the y-intercept?
The amount, right?
Where does this line cross the y-axis?
Like 150?
So this line crosses at 150? Where does this line cross the y-axis?
I don't understand.
90?
90.
9.
Why? Because all you're doing is, where does this line cross the y-axis? So if you notice now, our labels aren't on this graph. You have to know that this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. And now, at what point does it cross the y-axis? 90.
9. Confusing because it's not in the middle, like.
Right, because it's only showing you one part of the graph.
Right.
They can do that. So this is called the first quadrant. Most graphs, because we use linear equations to show of financial stuff, most of it is only going to usually show you the first and second quadrant a lot of the time. So here it's only showing you one quadrant, but it's okay because we still can find what the y-intercept is. Now, this is where most people make the mistake. We need 2 points. I can use any of these points, and I'm going to show you. So I'm going to use this, the first point. I'm going to use another point. I'm going to use another point. And I'm going to use a fourth point because I want to show you that no matter what 2 points you use, you can get the slope. So I'm going to use this one. This is the easy one. So change in y. So, right? So if I go up 1, how far am I going up?
1,
How
2,
many? No, how many?
1.
Now you're only see, this is where people get confused. You're right. We're only going up 1 tick mark. But what is that tick mark worth? I went from 90 to what?
130.
So you're going up
120.
30, you move up 30.
I'm going up 30. So it's 30
over 1.
over. So most people, what they did is they're used to doing a slope and they say, oh, I went up 1. No, you didn't go up 1. This graph is labeled differently. So the y-axis is using a scale of 30. So each time you go up 1 on the y-axis, you're going up 30. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yep.
Now, when I go to the right, so this is plus 30. When I go to the right, I'm going from 0 to 1. That's 1. So that means the slope of this line is 30.
Yes.
Since I know what my y-intercept is, since I know my slope is 30, what's my equation of the line?
M equals 30.
No, not
X.
m equal.
Why?
Y equals 30x plus 90.
Stop playing. There you go.
All right, Mr.
And
Tinsley, I
this
got
is the mistake that most people made because the scale is different. You have to understand that here, the y-axis for each time you go up 1 tick mark is actually going up 30 in value. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yep.
Now, watch this. Watch this. If I select the second point, I'm gonna select this one right here. Okay. So now I'm going up 30, 60 over 1, 2. 60 over 2 is still what?
Y equals 60.
30.
Still 30. If I use that, let me pick another point. It doesn't matter what point I choose. You only need 2. If I selected this one, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. So 150 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 150 over 5, my slope is still 30. It doesn't matter which 2 points you select
Mr.
to
Tinsley,
find the slope.
where I got confused at is knowing that, going up to 30. That's the problem I'm having. So
Okay, so that's the scale. You can see that you go up 30 now, right? It's because you're going up 0, 30, 60. Now, watch this. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you have the ebook, right? Watch this. You don't even need to do all that. All you need to be able to do is identify 2 points. Watch this. This point here is 0, 90.
Okay.
This point here is 2, 150. Does everybody understand that?
Right, and
Because each point, X before Y.
Right.
Now, watch this. All that work that I just showed you, watch this. Oops, let me clear everything out so we can see it. So this is why I tell you, know it conceptually, but then go through your ebook, because I'm going to show you how to do it quickly. Watch this. I'm going to put my X's in the first column. 0, enter, 2, enter. I'm going to put my Y's in the second column. 90, enter, 150, enter. Second, data, 2 variable, calculate. Watch this.
In the United States today.
I'm looking for somebody. I need to mute. Somebody needs to mute themselves. Watch this. I'm looking for A and B. It's going to give me the slope and the y-intercept. Look at that. This is my slope. This is my y-intercept.
We can't
30
see
seconds. You can't see it?
No.
You can't see that 30 and 90?
Nope.
All right, let me do this.
I don't see
Let
nothing.
me do
You
this.
just see. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to move it over or something. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I got it.
You got it? So
Mhm.
now I know my slope. I know my y-intercept. Now it's y equal 30x plus 90. Nice, easy 15-second problem if you know how to use the calculator. So my suggestion is know how to do it manually. So if they give you a word problem, you know how to identify the points. But then you can use your calculator to find the equation of the line. Now, what they're saying is the second part of this question. So we know the equation is 30x plus 90. The second part of this equation is, let me find out what it says. Let me find out the second. Oh, first of all, let me do this first. Let me maximize the calculator so you can see what I did.
So
and then we're gonna go to the second part. Who said they're confused?
I did.
And what's your name?
America.
You said Marissa?
America.
America. Oh, you on your phone and something else? What, you log in
Oh
twice?
no, I had to switch to my tablet so I could see better because my phone is really mini.
So first of all, you need to be able to identify a point on the coordinate plane. So the first thing you must understand is that each point on the coordinate plane has an X and a Y.
Okay.
Well, how did you get that X and a Y? What you also have to know is the horizontal axis is your X axis. Your vertical axis is your Y axis. So when I look at this point, what's my X? 0. When I look at my Y, it's 90.
Okay.
Let me choose this point here. What is my X?
4.
4. What is my Y?
210.
210. So if you wanted to do this manually, what you should already know is where the line crosses the Y-axis is 90. So I know my Y-intercept. So if you wanted to do this manually on your formula sheet, there is a formula that says Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So what does that 2 and 1 mean? So what you should also understand is this is my first point that I used. This is my second point. So if this is my X, this is my X1 because it's the X of my first point. This is my Y1 because this is the Y of my first point. This is X2 because this is the X of my second point. And this is Y2 because this is the Y of my second point. Then you just plug them in. Y2 is 210 minus 90. X2 is 4 minus 0. 210 minus 90 is what? Anybody know?
120.
120. 4 minus 0 is what?
It's just 4.
And what is 120 divided by 4?
30.
30. So this is manually how you figure this out. You identify the 2 points you want to use. You use your formula from your formula sheet. Can you write this down? Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna write this down. Yeah.
So now normally what I also do is I send the screenshots, but yes, you can write it down. So this is how you do it manually. This is how you because what you have to realize is when you find the equation line, this is what I want you ringing in your head. I want you to hear my voice in your head when you see a problem on the GED, they asking for the equation of line. I need the Y-intercept, I need my slope. So my Y-intercept is where the line crossed the Y-axis. That's easy, 90. Okay, now I have my 2 points. I can select any of these 2 points, and my slope is still going to come out to 30. Okay. Some people learning some stuff tonight. Y'all better stop playing. Y'all go home feeling much smarter.
This Zoom meeting is only on Mondays.
Yeah, this. I only have this on Mondays at 6.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yes, cool. Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I only do it one day. Sorry. Yeah, a lot of I get a lot of emails. What other days do you have it? Whatever. So I only have it one day. I'm sorry. But what I do have is, okay, Sheila, stay on afterwards. I think I already accepted you in the Schoology. So this is why I made Schoology. If you are new, even though I only have class once a week, the session once a week, I do have a free GED math course where you can practice all these types of problems. Okay.
Yeah, I want that.
So make sure you if you are new this evening, make sure you put your email in the chat. because after the session is over, I send out the video, the screenshots, and any worksheets we work on from this evening. Okay, so this is a word problem. But watch this. Now let me ask you something, Mr. Tinsley. You didn't even read the word problem. Why? Because I already know it says what is the linear equation in slope-intercept form. But the second part of this equation is what is the total cost of joining the club and playing 10 games. So what you have to understand is it tells you what the X is. Oops, I went down too far. Hold on. Oops, let me clear that up. It's telling you what the X is. It said the number of games is 10. The number of games is your X-axis. So they're telling you X is 10. So we look at our equation and we had 30X plus 90. So we're going to take our X and we're going to substitute it in. So we get Y equal 30 times 10 plus 90. 30 times 10 is 300 plus 90. Y equal 390. Y is telling us the yearly cost. So to play 10 games is going to cost us $390. This is how you read a graph. You have to make sure you look at the title of the graph. You have to make sure you look at the X-axis, and you have to make sure you look at the Y-axis. That's a lot of information. Always read the question first so you know what you're looking for. So when I read the question, I know I need the equation of the line, and I know I needed to, how much does 10 cost? How much if I played 10 games, how much will it cost? If you notice, the reason why I did that is the graph only shows up to 6 games.
Right.
So you can't tell by this graph, and because now if this says 6 games, you would just go like this. You don't have to do any, oops, not 6, because 6 is not on the graph. If it said 5 games, all I'm doing, if it said 5 games, is understand how you read a graph. I'm going up to X, then I'm going over to Y, 240. If I want to know how much 3 games cost, up to my line, over to my Y. 3 games would cost 80. So if I had the graph and those games are listed, all I got to do is do the intersection. Take my X up to the line, go over to my Y, the corresponding Y. If it's not on the graph, I need to plug that in to my equation. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, I got some brains working this evening. Some people are sitting there like, oh my goodness, I understand this. Some people are saying, oh my goodness, I don't understand this. So if you understand it, you're going to practice. If you don't understand it, you're going to practice. So what I want you to do is, you know yourself better than anybody else. So if you're having problems with this right now, what you're going to have to say is, you know what? Let me watch this video again tonight till I got it. Or let me get up in the morning when I got some time and let me go over this video till I got it. And then move on. Some people procrastinate. Sometimes when things are too hard, people say, you know what, I'm gonna wait. No. I showed you how to do 1, 2, at least 3 questions on your exam this evening. If you got a 142, a 143, a 144, these 3 problems could take you over the top to pass your exam. So don't put off anything. Say, you know what? Let me go over this video and go step by step and make sure I understand it. And you know what? After I finish, let me go to Schoology and make sure I know how to do it. So let me show something else from Schoology that I saw. That I saw people have problems with. Hold on. It's very important that you understand this, because I saw at least 3 to 4 people today had the problem when I was marking quizzes today. Hold on, let me go to let me see, what was it? It wasn't practice exams. Let me show you real quick. I think it was equation of the lines. So now, Mr. Tinsley, where are you getting this from? Remember, as people are taking practice tests, or people are taking quizzes, I look over every single thing that's submitted. And if I see more than 1 or 2 people having a problem with it, that's one of the ways or one of the concepts I like to go over in these classes. So I can tell what you're doing the more you put work in and do practice problem in schools. I think it was equation of a line, I think it was. Don't preview. Yep, that's it. I think that's it. Okay, perfect. This is it right here. Let me make it a little bigger. Okay, so it's asking for the equation of line in slope-intercept form. It's asking for the slope. It's asking for the y-intercept. Let me ask you a question. Is this equation in slope-intercept form?
Yeah.
No. What is slope-intercept form? Let me make sure we understand. What is slope-intercept form?
Y equal mx plus b.
Y equal mx plus b. Well, right now, this problem is saying 2x plus y equal 22. So if I wanted to get y by itself, what term do I need to get rid of?
The 2x.
The 2x. What's the opposite of plus 2x?
Minus 2x.
Minus 2x. Whatever I do on one side,
To the other.
I do on the other. So I subtract 2x over here. Does everybody understand what I just did? Okay, so now the 2x is canceled. I'm left with y equal, and I'm going to put this term first. Remember, it doesn't matter what order you put them in, because you can subtract or add in any order. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to put the minus 2x first, and then 22 doesn't have a sign. If it doesn't have a sign, is it positive or negative?
Positive.
So plus 22. Now the slope is what?
Negative 2x.
What's the slope?
Negative 2x.
What's the slope? What's the slope?
Is that negative 2x?
What's the slope? Now, let me just give you a little hint. If I ask you the question
-2.
twice, negative 2. That's the common mistake people are making. You have to understand y equal mx plus b, where m is your slope. Your slope does not contain a variable. It's what's in front of the variable. So if I put let me change my color to blue so you can see it. Y equal mx plus b.
Right.
So my m is what?
Negative 2.
My b is what?
22.
22. That's the answer to this question. Y equal minus 2x plus 22. My slope is minus 2. My y-intercept is plus 22. You cannot be deterred because the linear equation looks different. Okay, let's do one more problem. I'm giving y'all some things tonight. Y'all might not understand what I'm giving you, but watch this. Again, is y by itself? Is y by itself?
No.
Okay, so how do I get rid of minus 2/5 x? What's the opposite of minus 2/5 x?
Positive.
Positive 2/5 x. So when you want to move any term, this is where people get confused because they're thinking, oh, I got to get x by itself. No, you're not trying to get x by yourself here. We're not solving for x. This is why you have to have a conceptual understanding of what you're doing. This problem is not solving for x. This problem is solving for y. So that means I need to get y by itself. So I need to move this whole term to the other side. The opposite of minus 2/5 x is positive 2/5 x. They cancel, bring down my y, bring down my equal. 2/5 x minus 4. I just changed the order again. What's the slope? 2/5. What's the y-intercept?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. There you go. So now, Mr. Tizzy, oh my God, I never seen something like this. This is why I give you all these practice problems. Yes, they might be tough. Yes, the first time you might get a 5 out of 100. Yes, the first time you might get a 10 out of 100. Yes, the first time you might get 20 out of 100. But the purpose is not to deter you. The purpose is to say, this is what I need to work on to make sure I understand. Don't push it to the side. If you scored a 50 or something, don't go take the next test. Work on that until you got it. And then once you understand it, then you fly through these like, oh, I got it. No matter how they give me a linear equation, I'm ready. Because this is a problem that they had. This is actual problem that came off an old GED exam. And people said the slope was -2/5. What you have to understand is slope-intercept form has to look like that. Y equal, then something else. If it doesn't look like that, you got to change it to it looks like that for slope-intercept form. Let's try one more. Look at this one. Let me make this bigger. Matter of fact, I'll write it over. Let's look at this one. And it's already past 7. So we're going to do this last one. Minus y plus 5x minus 12 equals 0. Oh my goodness. You're probably looking at this equation right now and you have no idea what to do. How many people are thinking that right now?
I am, for sure.
Okay, you are. So this is what I want you to do. Anytime you're looking at a problem on this GED exam, you say, oh my God, what is this doing? I want you to do this. It's a linear equation. What do I know? Slope intercept is y equal mx plus b. Okay, I need to get the y by itself. Oh, the y is not by itself. So it's 2 things I can do. Watch this. Y, this other side is 0. So instead of moving a 5x, instead of moving the -12, I can add y to both sides. Now I have 5x minus 12 equal y. Okay, change the way it looks. It's equal. Remember, if you have an equal sign, that means they're equal on both sides. So you know what? I'm going to redo it. Y equal 5x minus 12. What's the slope? 5. What's the y-intercept?
12. Negative 12.
-12. Look at that. That hard-looking problem now became easy as pie. So right now, these questions might not look easy, but this is where you decide whether you want to pass this math exam or not. And how you're going to tell? How much work you put in. When I see somebody doing 3, 4, 5 quizzes a day, or taking a practice exam and doing it 2, 3 times to make sure they know how to do it, I know who's going to pass that exam when I see it. See, what people did was, this is what they do. Oh, let me buy this magical ebook that Mr. Tinsley made, and I'm going to be able to pass my test, GED math test in 30 days. Listen, you're not putting the book on your head and all the information going into your head. No, you got to go through that ebook. You got to have a conceptual understanding of what the problem is asking and what you need to do. So to solve any word problem, identify what's given. Identify what you want to know. Identify if you need to use a formula from your formula sheet. Look at your multiple choice answers and examine which ones can possibly be an answer and which can not. And then you go ahead and solve. This is why I time all my assessments. If a type of problem is taking you 2 to 3 minutes while you're practicing, you keep working through the problem. But you take note and you say, you know what? When I got to find the equation of a line of a perpendicular line, it takes me a while. So you're going to keep practicing until you know how to do it, right? Then you're going to go in the ebook and I'm going to show you the easy way to do it, right? So then not only do you have a conceptual understanding of the concept, now you know how to be more accurate and much faster using the calculator. So then when you get to the exam, you know when to use that and how to use it. And then you're done just like that. Now, I said that was the last one, but let me see if I got let me see if I can go a graph, because I also saw this, people having problems with this. This is the last one, I promise. Linear equations. Parallel and perpendicular line. Or I'm gonna do word problems. I should have did a perpendicular, but I'll do a linear word problem. Let's see, preview. Because when people see word problems, it feel like their brains explode. So watch this. Now, this is a part of my practice test. So if you go and take it, you'll have a head start. But let's look at this. The population of Bay Village is 35,000 today. Every year, the population of Bay Village increases by 750 people. Write a linear model that represents the population of Bay Village X years from today. How many people are reading that question like, Mr. Tins, I have no idea what to do?
I don't know what to do.
Okay. And that's what happens, right? But again, what did I tell you to do? Take a deep breath, identify what you know. Since they want a linear equation, you know where to start. Y equal mx plus b. Okay, that's the slope-intercept form of a linear equation, because they told you right there, write a linear model that represents, right? So y equal mx plus b. So what here? So then the next thing you realize is that mx can always change. It contains a variable. So if the year is 1, if the year is 2, if the year is 3, you're multiplying by a different number. So this term mx is variable. It can change. Your b is constant. So when you look at this question, what is not going to change in this question?
750 people.
So hold on. Increases by every year, the population increases by 750 people. So your 750 is not going to change?
It will change.
It will change. So
Okay.
because that's going to change, that's your M.
Okay.
What's not going to change?
35,000.
That's your B. So if my equation of the line is y equal mx plus b, what's my equation going to be?
750.
No. What's my equation going to be? What it must start with?
Y equals 750. X plus 35,000.
Stop playing. That's it.
So I got confused with the.
So again, remember, what does a variable mean? A variable means to change. What term in here means to change? If something is changing per day, per year, per hour, that means it's changing. That's variable.
Okay.
That 35,000 from year where it starts with is not going to change. That's going to be it, no matter what. That's how easy that equation line is. Identifying what's going to change, identifying what's not. Let's try one more real quick. Okay. Oh, no, not that one. That's a system of equations. So we'll still linear. So a system of equations is a multiple linear equation. But here we go right here. So Paul opens a savings account with $350. I don't know why this is orange and this is yellow. I don't know. Paul opens a savings account with $350. He saves $150 per month. Assume that he does not withdraw money or make any additional deposits. Write a linear model that represents the total money Paul deposits to his account after n months, right? So the first thing, what is the slope-intercept form of equation of a line?
Y equal mx plus b.
Y equal mx plus b. What is your b? What is not going to change?
350.
350. What's going to change?
150.
150. So that's my M. What's my equation of the line going to be?
Y equals x.
150 x plus 350.
Now, they told you to use M for months. So instead of X, I'm going to have Y equal 150 M plus 350, because your variable can always change. They want M because that's to stand for how many months you're going to invest. 150 per month. That's why they gave you the M. So instead of X, we're going to use M. So this will be the equation of the line. Now, after how many months will Paul have more than 2,000? Okay, again, more than 2,000. Well, that's not, so you only have two variables here, X or M is for the months. Y is how much you saved. So this is your Y. So you're going to plug that into Y, and you're going to have 2,000 equal 150M plus 350. Right? Subtract 350 from both sides. Remember, this is a two-step algebraic equation. You should know how to do this. So now you get what, 1650 divided by 150. 150 equal 150M. Got to divide both sides by 150. So can somebody tell me what is 1650 divided by 150? 1011, right?
11.
11. Now, this is the problem. It says more than. You after 11 months, you'll have exactly 2,000. So the answer here is not 11, it'll be 12 because it says more than 2,000. That's a common mistake people make. You got to make sure you read that question carefully. So here, when I use that 2,000, I'm telling them when I'm going to have $2,000 at month 11. They want to know when will I have more than 2,000, month 12. Everybody understand that?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
again, when you get and you will have two of these, where you will have a linear equation in words, in a paragraph. Identify what's changing, that's going to be your slope. Identify what's constant, that's going to be your y-intercept. Then you get your equation in line. It's almost on every single exam, period. You're definitely going to have, definitely.
So, Mr. Tinsley, your
Alright.
slope is
Oops.
always changing, but your B is always constant.
Why? Tell me why. So if I have, so let's put this back down. Y equal 150x plus 350. If my month was month 1, it'll be Y equal 150 times 1 plus
Right.
350. Is my 350 the same?
Yes, it stays the
Did
same.
my 350 change?
No.
No. If after month 2, 150 times 2 plus 350. Did my 350 change?
No.
That's what constant means, will not change.
Right.
If you notice, this value is changing. This was 150, then this is 300.
Right.
So depending upon what month you in, that number changes. It's variable. That's
So
what
that
the
would be
word variable means. Listen, don't worry. Practice, practice, practice. I'm going to help you pass this exam. Go through the ebook. Make sure you understand how to do these problems using the ebook, because I'm going to show you a much faster way to solve these problems. So these difficult problems that you see, sometimes you'll be able to do in seconds. So instead of you spending 5, let's just do simple math. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to do a blank page and then we're going to go. I know I went over the time, but I just want to show you some simple math. I'm going to show you simple math, right? Watch this. If there's 40 problems, right? Now, usually on a GED it's between 40 and 45, but let's just say it's 40. If you have 120 minutes or 2 hours to take the exam, how much on average should you spend on each problem?
2 minutes.
Nope, not 2.
3.
3. How did you get 3?
40 divided into 120.
40 goes into 120 3 times. So this is why I use that time frame 2 to 3 minutes, because on average, you should be only spending at most 3 minutes on a problem. But say you got 40 problems, right? Say, for example, you got the first 5 and you got 35. Let's look at the first 8. I'm going to look at the first 10, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 10 problems. So 10 times 3 on average is 30 minutes. But say you do the first one in 1 minute, second one in 1 minute, you skip the third one, 1 minute, 1 minute, you skip the sixth one, 1 minute, 1 minute. You skip the 9th one and flag it for review in 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what you just on average should have finished in 30 minutes now took you 7 minutes. You just saved yourself 23 minutes. Now multiply that by 4. This is why most people who go through my ebook and use my Schoology website to practice for the exam finish within an hour. They usually have 40, 50, or 60 minutes left when they finish the exam. Why? Easy, medium, hard. So depending upon when you take your exam, easy, medium, hard. These are all worth the same amount of points, whether you answer easy one correct or the difficult problem correct. What I'm suggesting you do is do the easy and medium ones. Skip the hard ones. And once you finish the exam, come back to those hard exams, those hard problems. You're going to pass your exam. It ain't even no doubt. Jennifer.
Yes.
Did you take your exam?
No.
Did you take your exam?
No.
How many people are scheduled soon to take the exam? Is anybody here scheduled to take the exam either in December or January?
Me, Mr. Tinsley, January 4th.
Okay. Anybody
I would
else?
like to schedule to take it in January, by the second week of January, but I haven't made a date yet.
Okay. So since you haven't made a date, if you are scheduling in either December or January, I need to see you on Schoology taking these assessments to see how you do. So I can tell you whether you're ready or not. Because one of the things that people do is they work hard. When they don't pass the exam, it defeats them, it deflates them. And they feel like, oh, that ain't worth it. I don't want to do it. If you practice enough on Schoology and I'll be able to see your results, I will let you know when you are ready. Don't put this up for chance. I'm telling you, if you practice enough in Schoology, especially I got 10 practice exams. If you practice and do those exams, you're going to take this test and you're going to fly through it. All right. Any questions before we leave?
Yeah, I sent my email to you. Can you send the information to me that we did today?
I sure will.
I'm gonna send my email to you as well in the chat. Can you send today's recording to me?
I sure will.
Thank you.
Stay on.
And the Schoology website, is it Power School? Is that the right?
Yes. Well, okay. So Power School actually took over Schoology. So they bought Schoology. So right now, yes, it's still Schoology, but Power School obtained Schoology. So when you go to the site, you'll see, I think it does say Power School now. I think you are right. Let me check. Yep, it says Power School. Yep.
Okay.
So this is why sometimes that's why some people today who are logging in, taking their practice test, it actually shut down today. It had some problems today. Did anybody experience that today?
I'm not sure.
I did.
Yeah. So they making some changes. This site is free. So I made this web course. I made this math course. It's absolutely free. Don't cost you anything. All it costs you is your time that you're going to put in. That's it. That's all it takes. And you'll be able to work on whole numbers, fractions, decimals, percents, ratio and proportions, pre-algebra, algebra. I got 10 practice tests, linear equations. You can practice as much as you want, as much time as you want to put in. But what I would suggest is don't hop all over the place. Be guided in what you're studying. So use your previous test or use your practice test to decide what you're going to study first. And then you work on that until you have a quiz of 80 or above. Then move on. Don't jump all over. A lot of people are jumping all over the place. No, we want to have a concerted effort to pass this exam. Using your previous test or your practice test, that's how you're going to decide what you're going to study and what you're going to go over the ebook in the ebook first. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions before we leave? And again, last week we had 18. So let me see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. You better stop playing. We got almost 15, 18 last week, 15. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope you learned something new tonight. I hope it sparks you to and motivates you to work harder because you're in the right place. Work hard. Go over the ebook, practice. I'm almost guaranteed you're gonna pass this exam.
The Schoology, the ebook, where do I get that?
Oh, passgedmath.com. So one thing, if you order the ebook, what I also do is I throw in a 1-to-1 session with you before you take your exam. So we'll walk through step by step of everything you need to work on to pass your exam. And I'll send you that video so you can go over and practice exactly what you need. So some people come in and yes, they come to the Monday session, but since they're close to practicing, since they buy the ebook, they go right into the one-on-one session. Mr. Senzi, show me what I need to know how to do. Boom. And then they work and practice on that for a week to 2 weeks and they go take the exam and pass. So decide what you want to do. Okay.
How can I get on Schoology?
Well, did you send me an email?